Welcome to June the 16th. I'll start from 2017, work back to 2014, and take it from there. Something should not happen, but they do. The Liberal government of Australia has not been able to pass good legislation because of an awful Senate, but there's great news about what they have done which has not been well sold. And the oxygen thief is Malcolm Turnbull and his supporters, because generally the good policy initiatives are not his ideas, but the awful ones are. Ideas from Gonski, Finkel, raiding superannuation and appointing left-wing zealots atop bodies are all harming Australia and the Liberal Party. The midwinter ball had Turnbull showing off to his mates in the press gallery. He took cheap shots at Donald Trump that were as funny as Griffin holding Trump's severed head. Turnbull has the lousy polls, not Trump. Trump is draining the swamp and facing fake news, which is real and does damage, as that baseball shooting in D.C. showed. Even the US Department of Justice has had to give a press release saying that the leaks are fake news. But Malcolm Turnbull, who has been very undiplomatic and provoking Trump, will find Trump is not brittle like Turnbull is. Trump can exact a price through dealing, and a fool like Turnbull will never know why he is so ineffective as leader. It is not good for the Liberals that Turnbull is leader. We need Tony Abbott. In 363, Emperor Julian marched back up the Tigris and burned his fleet of supply ships. During the withdrawal, Roman forces suffered several attacks from the Persians. Julian's decision to burn the supply ships proved fatal for him. While fighting with a sword but not armor in a skirmish, Julian was stabbed with a Saracen spear. The wound became fatal after 3 days, an irony lost on the apostate. In 632, Yazgurd III ascended to the throne as King Shah of the Persian Empire. He became the last ruler of the Sasanian dynasty, modern Iran. He was 8 years old and 9 years old when the first hostile Islamic negotiators threatened his kingdom. In 1586, Mary, Queen of Scots, recognized Philip II of Spain as her heir and successor. Her son, James VI of Scotland, had been King of Scotland since 1567, so Mary's declaration was fairly empty, except as a political threat against her cousin, Elizabeth I of England. Mary's statement formed part, in legal eyes, the Babington Plot, for which Mary was executed in 1587, a year later. 1795, First Battle of Goire, otherwise known as Cornwallis's Retreat. Vice Admiral Cornwallis was heavily outnumbered and outgunned by the French. England had 5 ships of the line and 2 frigates, while France had 12 ships of the line and 11 frigates. Initially, Cornwallis retreated and French pursued, but when the ships fell behind, Cornwallis imposed his force in their defense. His ships all made Portsmouth, damaged but secure. In 1816, Lord Byron read Phantasmagoria to his 4 house guests at the Villa Diodati, Percy Shelley, Mary Shelley, Claire Clairmont, and John Polidori, and inspired his challenge that each guest write a ghost story, which culminated in Mary Shelley writing the novel Frankenstein. John Polidori wrote the short story The Vampire, and Byron writing the poem Darkness. In 1858, Abraham Lincoln delivered his House Divided speech in Springfield, Illinois. 1904, Irish author James Joyce began a relationship with Nora Barnacle, and subsequently used the date to set the actions for his novel Ulysses. This date is now traditionally called Bloomsday. 1944, at age 14, George Junius Stinney Jr. became the youngest person executed in the United States in the 20th century. It was a miscarriage of justice typical of a Democrat state and a black youth. His parents were threatened and could not support him. There was no physical evidence tying him to the killings. A confession was suspiciously exacted from him. It was 83 days from the killing to the bungled execution. In 1981, US President Ronald Reagan awarded the Congressional Gold Medal to Ken Taylor, Canada's former ambassador to Iran, for helping 6 Americans escape from Iran during the hostage crisis of 1979-81. He was the first foreign citizen bestowed the honor.